On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Heath Oaks is a millennial mogul whose ignorance on fire led him to fail his way to success. Jenny Anchondo is an Emmy award-winning journalist whose sharp eye and biting wit have led to her storied career in television. Together, they tackle today's headlines in a way only an odd couple with a dash of perfect opposite can. So kick back, relax, and join the conversation. This is Second Shot with your hosts, Heath and Jenny.
Everybody, just a round of applause. Over 200,000 plus downloads. Woo!
Yes! Oh my gosh, this is wild. Well, and for a while, we really didn't even look at the analytics much because you're just trying to, kind of make it in this podcast world. And Matt brought it to our attention, saying, "Hey, you guys, you forgot to celebrate 100,000 downloads. Now go ahead with 200."
Yeah,
and we got the whole cast in today for this. We got Jenny, Zach, Matt, myself, and everybody's here, and we're just 200 plus thousand. It's huge.
Our audience has been amazing. I love how loyal our listeners are. We are small but mighty, but getting bigger and mighty.
It's true. Yeah, this family is growing. We're out here hustling, and it shows, and people are sweet about it. So thanks, gang.
You know what's funny recently, too?
Huh.
You give everybody a quick little rundown on one of the newest things with Brighton.
Yeah.
Hide and seek, where she never seeks you.
She's so bad at it.
I'm like, she's like tricking me, right? It's like, Daddy, go hide, and she'll count, and I'll go hide, and she
just sits
never
there and
comes.
plays with her toys.
And she starts playing with her toys, and I'm like, did I just get tricked? Like, I went and hid, and I've been standing here for 15 minutes, and I hear her in there singing to Peppa and putting Peppa down night-night, and I'm like, got me.
He's about to be late for work, but he's like so committed to the game. It's like, I got a conference call in 10, but here I am.
What better reason to send a message to somebody and say, "Hey, I can't make the conference call. I'm hiding,
and I'm not getting seen.
I haven't been sought. So what are you gonna do?"
That's clever, really. I kind of like it. I'd love to believe that was on purpose, just to be like, I'm gonna get Dad out of the picture for a little while.
Right.
I'm just gonna do what I want to do.
Get him off my back.
She went straight to playing, so obviously that was her intention. It's not like she was like just. You hear her singing to her babies and like playing teapot. It's like, got him gone. Gotcha.
She doesn't even laugh about it. It's just like, right on to the next thing.
We are so in trouble.
Very calculated.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't leave for work if you're hiding. All right, that's what's important. Yeah, you're gonna stay home. Right over wherever you're hiding. That's where you're gonna be.
It's so true.
It's great.
So true.
What we got up first?
This has been big news, you guys.
I like this one.
Instagram influencers everywhere are going mad.
It's true. I can't wait to hear your hot takes on this, Jenny, because this is obviously you're much more Instagram savvy than the rest of us. Instagram is about to hide likes for some U.S. users. Here's what to expect. So Instagram, which is a Facebook company, is planning on hiding likes in the United States. It's a weird thing. Likes are like the main thing you see after you see a post, how many people have liked it, how much traction it's got, but they're finding that maybe it's reinforcing some negative behavior, some toxic behavior, they say on the platform. Seeing a number of likes can be detrimental to somebody who maybe can't reach a certain status they want to. Other people are driving for more likes. They got to see that number go up. And Instagram is finding, as they've tested in foreign countries before doing it here, that maybe hiding that number is better, which seems very counterintuitive. And I'm interested to see what we think about this. There's some more data on it, but I'm curious first on hot takes. Jenny, what do you think?
This has been an interesting journey of Instagram over the years, and many people will notice even if Instagram isn't your career, you don't work in the influencer world, or you don't have a business that you're trying to promote, likes have gone way down. So what happened is somebody who would be getting maybe 1,000 likes, then all of a sudden, people always talk about the algorithm changes, and this does happen. People who used to get 1,000 likes now have more followers but only get like 500 likes. So it almost led to this weird desperation of people trying to figure out, what can I do to get more? What can I do to get more? Yeah. And if you would have rewound a few years ago, this was something you didn't even care about. But now people got followings. They started making a business out of it, and now they're desperately trying to appease, perhaps themselves or perhaps the businesses that they have created collaborations with to, keep up this side of the business. So I'm more curious to see, and they say they're doing this in the name of mental health.
I don't understand why they're doing this. How's that mental health?
Because you don't care how many people like your pictures.
But now it's going to go to comments.
Yes.
That's true.
And there are a lot of naysayers that say this has nothing to do with mental health.
No, it
this
doesn't.
has everything to do with them drawing attraction to their platform.
Absolutely.
And drawing attention to their platform and getting us all to talk about it, and also to get people to be more creative. Because what they were also finding is that, I would see, Zach has a lot of likes on his picture of the ocean. Well, I don't particularly like the ocean, but I see that people like that Zach has a picture of the ocean, so I'm going to post a picture of the ocean. So people within Instagram or, publicists are saying, we're trying to get you to be more creative and be more authentic and put more creative content out there because it's all kind of looking the same.
Right. Yes. Let me tell you what it is.
What is it?
Lay it on us, Heath.
It's money.
It's money.
So look, when Jenny crossed 100,000 likes on Facebook, all of a sudden her interaction went dramatically lower. You know why? And here's the other thing. If Jenny posts a new story on her deal, it gets normal. Maybe it's, 100 comments and 1,000, 1,500 likes. If she posts a picture about this podcast and says something about Second Shot Podcast, 10 people like it and 2 comments.
Nothing.
There's a drop off.
But do you understand? It's not because people just like one over the other. Facebook lets more people see the news story than they let people see her about her podcast. And
or
the reason why is they want money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the news story is what they're used to, what their algorithm is, that Jenny is, that's kind of who she is. That's why they let that be seen by people. Mm-hmm. It's not because they're trying to let news headlines in versus other else.
Right. It would be like a family picture or anything basically that isn't about something that I'm trying to promote as a business.
Yes. If she's trying to promote it for a business,
that I'm creating my own.
Facebook lets nobody see it, so she'll spend money to boost it for her own followers to see it.
Right.
Instagram is doing the same thing. All they're doing right here is they're pulling that number back to now drive the comments, so people will now spend a ton of money to try to get comments up there.
Right.
And try to drive their ad revenue. That's all that is. It's such crap. They're not doing mental health. You lie to your friends, I lie to mine. We ain't got to lie to each other here.
They contend that they are doing it for mental health, but I agree that because from what I understand, you're still going to be able to see how many people liked it. Everybody else won't be able to see.
Right. You can see your own likes. You can't see others people's likes. That's the thing. Heath, are you telling me this little app on this magic box I look at all day isn't looking out for me? Is that what I'm hearing?
Not at all.
This thing is not in my best interest?
But, I go back to this, too. On my second shot of it is finding your own value within inside your own worth of yourself and not others. And that's what I come back to the most is that it is you've got to believe and know your own worth versus what you need from others on your value. And we look too much for outside acceptance with things instead of looking internally of what is our own worth, like knowing your worth and believing in your value and your worth and moving forward with it. We've talked about it all the time. Like you both have issues with like telling your rates and prices. We were just talking about like Zach doing his freelance stuff, and he's like, it's hard for me to ask for money for what I am, and then Jenny's like, this, and then I come in and I'm like charging 3 times over what I'm worth, and they're like, how are you doing that? I'm like, well, I know what I'm worth, and I feel like I'm worth this, and if they don't, then I don't care.
I feel like I can charge 3 times.
Mine comes a little bit from people who are constantly saying, we have a great opportunity for you, Jenny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We would like for you to spend your entire day at our event, speaking at it, coordinating things, organizing, introducing, writing scripts. Oh no, we don't have a budget. We don't have a budget for that. It's an opportunity for you. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I got enough opportunities.
Yeah, I got too many opportunities.
For pay. And I think mine kind of comes, those kind of interactions, I need to not let them degrade me when those things happen, because I'll put together a whole, it's very time consuming too. I'll put together, a whole pitch, a rate card, the whole thing to send to them. And they're like, oh no, we weren't planning on paying you. And I don't understand where where people think that's okay to not pay people for their expertise.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I don't. Yeah.
But you and I both need to get better about just sticking to our rates,
Seriously.
about just having them and sticking to them.
And what do you think the difference, like, because like I have no problem telling people how much I charge.
You are
what is
ignorance on fire.
Yeah.
You're extremely confident.
Yeah.
And like Heath doesn't let other people's opinions of him impact him. I've tried to bring him down.
Right? I try every day.
No, but I mean, he and that's part of what was attractive to me about him is he truly does not let what other people think about him impact him, and I do. I am a very sensitive person. I'm very thin-skinned, and I think that allows me to be empathetic, and I think it allows me to relate to people, but it doesn't allow me to like walk with true confidence without doing a lot of work on myself.
Oh, sure. It is incredibly important to me that people like me. It is insanely important that people like me.
Well, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting friends and wanting, to have a community around you. But
and I want people to like me too. I mean, I want to be able to help. I want people to, I want to be able to have an influence to where you thoroughly enjoy being with me and that my leadership in any way. But I also have a deep sense of what I know I'm worth and can do. And I'm not going to let them impact me in a way that gets me off of that. I think that's one thing that everybody's got to really do, especially in today, because everybody's a celebrity almost, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you even post something and you just got, 150 friends on Facebook. And if people like it or not, some people get kind of, down
right,
or up
even
with
within
it.
their friends, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's, I think you've got to be centered in what you're good at and who you are and what you stand for. And when you know that, then you can't let others knock you off that pedestal.
Yeah, you can't look at somebody else's audience or how many likes somebody else is getting and let that define how you feel about your audience.
Yeah.
That doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite. That is detrimental, I think.
Well, I more than anything is that I want to encourage you that if you're sitting out there today, get your worth. You're worth something. I promise you, you're worth a lot. You're worth a lot more than you think you are. You have a lot more value to offer than what it is. And just keep putting that out there and not let others that want to try to derail you, because you know what? You know what they want to do? They want to try to bring you down because they're piss poor about themselves. So you need to have your worth and your value. Own it. And screw them. That's what I got to say about that.
They piss poor about themselves. And we will see you in the second segment of Second Shot. I love that.
He makes up words, she translates them. Heath and Jenny host more of Second Shot, coming up on RNCN.
Okay, you guys, we have been working on this partnership for a while. This is a company that we've used as a couple, we've used individually, and now they are on board as a sponsor. So we're giving a big shout out to myllc.com. You used them back in the day, right?
I've been using
like when
them,
you first got started in business.
I've been using them for 12, 13 years. It was the easiest thing in the world. If anybody's thought about setting up a company, paying big lawyer fees, they think it's a big, mountain of a task to take on. But with myllc.com, if you go on their website and you call them, if you're doing an S Corp, a C Corp, or anything, they're going to walk you through it. They won't make you feel dumb. And they're going to handle every process every year from now on from you, the stuff with the state and all of those things. So if you have any rental property outside of your own home, you need to have it in an LLC or an S Corp or something in order to protect you legally if you're doing side hustles. You need to invoice them from the legal entity because it can protect you legally. In myllc.com/second shot, there's a coupon code 99 myllc, right?
Well, yeah, all you have to do is go to myllc.com/second shot and it'll give you $99 off, which is super generous. And this is kind of like a limited thing. So if you were thinking about it, again, you kind of started your side business, you're thinking about getting it going, or you've got a big business. I mean, they work with all sizes. It's $99 off. The other thing, if you're already on the site, you can use the coupon code 99myllc. Again, it's 99myllc from myllc.com. This is the company we've used for all of our different entities and projects. They've been so great to work with, and we're just excited to have them on as partners.
myllc.com/second shot. Go now. Run.
Ready, aim, fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
What I want to hear is your translation to my piss poorness.
I forget what the context was. What is? I mean, we say it's a family-friendly show, and I would not want my child to hear that word. So first of all, I'm just going to scold you for that.
I'm surprised it made it into the second segment. I know.
I'll probably offend somebody.
All right.
You're just offensive.
Can we mark this as explicit on iTunes, Matt, please?
Mark it as spicy.
Mark
There
this
you
one
go.
as explicit.
Yeah.
Put that big red box under there. Yeah.
You can't.
You're just
I
saying
can't get right.
You're just saying if people. Okay, translation. Okay. Hashtag country translations with Jenny.
That's what you guys.
Wisdom from a woman who lives her life with a
You've got
man
a
who
book.
has English as
You've got
as
a book
his,
here.
new language.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm telling
Okay.
you, Jenny needs to also do like the cookbook because she's done like this. We've talked about it forever.
Need to do the
This whole-
cookbook.
like taking Southern favorites and making them just like healthier. Not like.
Well, that's
you
not a
know,
bad idea.
She does.
take that.
She does them really good, and
Yeah.
and it's like that good middle ground. Okay, so it's not like she's trying to go. I want to get rid of the chicken fried steak with a black bean patty and fry it. Like that's a little much, right?
Sure, you
know-
better not be doing
Right,
that.
but we still
No.
do actual chicken, but then we
You just do it a little
wait.
different.
I always forget it's chicken fried steak.
I know.
Chicken fried
Chicken
steak
fried
is
steak
steak.
is meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steak.
Steak.
Fried like chicken. But
Or
anyway,
beef, rather.
I
Yeah.
do need to do
She
that
just
cookbook.
does a really good middle of the ground that really knocks
Thanks,
down
babe.
everything. And so I've been telling you till I'm blue in the face that you got
Publishers, call me.
You got
right.
to write something first.
I know. Okay, that makes me think of this you guys, we watched this documentary called Game Changers about living a vegan lifestyle.
Okay.
There are a lot of journalistic holes. I'm just going to say that. The research, I've got like
hold
this
water.
group text with 10 of my closest friends. All their husbands are vegan now because of this.
Oh,
Because
wow.
of this thing.
Really?
It makes some
It didn't
excellent.
convert your husband.
My husband is the only one who didn't at least say, "Oh, I'll commit to a week of plant-based." He's the only one that was like, "Yeah, okay."
The only thing.
I probably ate a steak right after.
He
only
did
thing- the
at
only-
Three Forks.
The only thing more delicious than red meat is spite. That's where we're at with
Yeah.
meat. Yeah. The only thing better is spite.
But it was a good documentary. They do make some good points. There are some holes, but anyway, my cookbook won't be vegan.
Where is that? Netflix? Where can
It's
we?
it's Netflix.
Okay.
It's called
Game Changers.
Game Changers.
All
Game
right.
Changers. Vegan athletes.
Yeah.
Buyer beware, I guess.
Yes.
Our second story this week: parents question sign about unruly children at Elk River Arby's in Minnesota Wednesday night. Christine Hemsworth walked into an Elk River Arby's for dinner with her two sons and daughters, and on their way in, she noticed a sign on the door, a sign that read, "Notice: only well-behaved children who can keep their food on their trays and their bottoms in their seats are welcome. If you can't do this, you will be asked to leave. Thanks." Surprise for Christine because her young kids have trouble doing that. They have trouble staying in their seat. They're kids, right? They're
Wow,
2 years old.
that's a shocker.
Yeah, and they can't keep their fries on their tray or their bottoms in their seat. They stand up. They're all over the place. That's how it goes. But she still walked in. She still got her food, and dinner went okay. It was uncomfortable because she felt like she was in this environment where maybe she can't be herself or her kids can't be themselves, but ultimately it worked out. Since then, the sign's been taken down after some community members like Christine reached out to Arby's and said, "Hey, listen, this may not be okay." Arby's said it might be in response to some unruly teenagers in the area, but the sign's been taken down and they haven't said anything. Hot takes on a sign that says your kids can't be kids. What do we think?
Number one, when did Arby's think they're, Ruth Chris all of a sudden, where you know what I mean? Like where in the fact does Arby's and their fake barbecue come into the point?
Fake barbecue?
It's fake as hell. It's not real stuff.
Oh my God!
And-
This is an explicit episode.
Why do they all of a sudden think they're like Ruth Chris and Three Forks?
Right.
Can't put a fry on the ground at my fast food Arby's.
Right.
Like,
Well,
what
sir,
the heck?
are you saying that the manager of this Arby's can't just have individual standards that he'd like to hold the store to?
Listen, yeah.
You're
Right,
a
just because it's fast food
joint.
doesn't mean that you
doesn't mean
tear
you-
into the place. It doesn't mean it's your garbage
They
pail.
didn't. No. The sign was your child's seat sitting down and some food on the ground.
Food
Name
on the
me
trays,
a child
bottoms and
that
seats.
is not going to have some food on the ground.
So I thought that people would have. So the manager's been disciplined, right?
I think so.
Yes, the manager's been
yes.
disciplined, and so have all the employees on that shift. Arby's made a really big deal about this. I posted it to my Facebook page, and I must have apparently none of you have children. Not a single person on my Facebook page
nobody has
ever
kids
had
ever.
a child,
Right?
Because everybody was like, "That's right, kids these days.
Ooh.
You know, they're so
These
unruly
days.
and blah blah blah." The these
kids
days
these
thing
days,
gets
yes.
me. You know, because their kids were angels.
Yeah.
They either haven't had
They
kids
were angels.
or
Always.
they are approximately 80 years old and their kids are 60 and they've forgotten.
Yeah.
And they never watch the grandkids.
Now, I'm not going to
Shame
lie.
on you.
Oh.
I was the one that needs to be slapped in the hand because I was probably the one that judged before I had mine.
Sure.
A little bit. Probably not to the extent of something like that. But kids, kids are not in their seats with food on the ground and doing all those things is just, that's kids. I mean, that's kids. And
Right.
that's just too... now, I get if you're talking about teenagers, it's different. But a 2-year-old, 3-year-old is different. I mean, yeah, if a teenager comes in and throws their food all over the ground, completely different.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would
Okay,
hope.
but they reply with saying something about teenage something other, and that's not the same thing that Simon was saying.
It does say they've had a few calls about unruly teenagers at this.
I get that.
Minnesota Arby's, and yeah, maybe they were trying to throw some very oddly pointed shade, but it totally came off wrong. Yeah, it just comes off to people who are loyal customers who actually want to be there as being insulting and degrading.
You
and that's
stand
not
me
good.
up 10 parents and name 10 parents with 2 or 3-year-old that can go. The majority of those kids, if they can sit in that seat
Yeah.
and not
Look
put
at
a drop of food on the ground, then they need to come give me lessons, and I'll pay them lots of money.
Well, here's my
impossible.
issue with this. The parents that are having kids, I'm sorry, the parents that are having kids that are sitting at the table, 9 times out of 10, they are on a device, and that's not okay. Like, there's way too much research showing that screen time for children, I'm talking about young children, babies, 6 months old, a year, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. This is not, that's not teaching them how to act in a restaurant either. That's delaying your
The
interaction
inevitable.
with them.
Right.
That's delaying interaction. That's delaying the things that you need to do to teach people how to behave in a restaurant, because behaving in a restaurant is most certainly not being on your phone. Like, if we're teaching lessons, that's the wrong lesson also. And I don't think Arby's should have to pick up after all the kids. I mean, the parents should be picking up the fries, and you know what I mean, like cleaning up after the kids. But
yeah, but you are
I
a
think
fast
we've-
food restaurant.
That doesn't
Like,
mean you
you
have to act
cannot
like an
gripe
animal,
about
right?
a fry on the ground.
So
Come on.
here's my question about
Yes.
this. I do think the idea of having to put some poor high school cashier at odds with a parent and having to potentially kick a family out of the restaurant because they have to decide, they have to be the arbiter of, like, well, that's one too many fries on the floor. Like, I think that's a problem. Like, you don't need to do that. But is there value in just letting people know as they walk in, like, look, I get this is a fast food restaurant, but like, people come in here and they act like it's their playground, and they don't watch their kids maybe. And this parent who may have had a problem with it was at least a little bit more on the ball, I guess, by coming in there and saying, okay, like, we're being watched, and maybe I should pay a little bit more attention to them. Is there value in at least letting people know, like, look, don't come in here and just stay on your phone and ignore what your kids are doing, or ignore what you're doing. If you're making a mess, if you're throwing a fit, and we're going to at least notice. We're at least paying attention to that.
You're in the service industry.
Very diplomatic.
I mean, you're in the service industry. That's what you're in. I mean, you're gonna have people. You're gonna have customers you don't like, customers you like, but you're in the service industry.
Yeah.
As a waiter, I hated when I had kids at my table because it took me extra time to sweep up all the rice that would be thrown on the ground. But I also knew that was part of my job. It was going to happen. Kids were going to come in. That's how it was going to be. And I was going to sweep it up and clean it up. And
I mean, I think that's sort of a second shot.
Yeah.
That's sort of a second shot, is just knowing what it is. Arby's aside, and kids, I do think parents should pick up after their kids if they're throwing anything on the
Jenny
ground.
and I pick up.
Rude. Yeah.
We try to pick up
I mean,
majority of our
wouldn't it
stuff.
have been better to put up a sign that says, "Parents, please pick up after your children if they make a mess," or
that
like,
to me
help
would have
us out
been
a little
fine.
bit?
Yeah,
That'd
or
been
just like, hey, help us out. You just kind of don't treat this. I mean, he's like berating it like, oh, it's a fast food restaurant, but it's still a restaurant. I mean, it's still people. You're still human.
Yeah, I'm just more so like it's putting that out there. It's trying to act like everybody parent comes in there and wants their kids to be crazy. That's just, I mean, like, there's
we don't desire that.
Yeah, nobody wants to have that happen. So, I mean, the majority are trying the best they can with it. And when you got a 2 or 3 year old, they have their own personalities. They're going to do what they do. Yeah. And it's so hard to get that controlled. And the last thing we need is to throw more judgment on people, to have more people feeling bad in this world when we need to uplift and do different things. And I don't see a problem with a sign that if you're, hey, parents, please pick up after your kids when you get done. That wouldn't be a bad thing at all. But trying to expect it, the other seems very petty to me.
I think second shot is kind of knowing what your job is. Like, that's the key to happiness, is knowing what the task is, being aware of what the challenges are going to be, and moving through them anyway.
Know your surroundings. Know yourself.
As a waiter, it was like, was I like pumped when I saw 3 kids going to be in high chairs? No. But I wasn't like angry about it. I wasn't going to like say, you need to leave. I knew that was part of the deal, but I also knew that the more of them that I did really well and I made them feel good, I got better tips because of that. And I knew that I was going to sweep up rice and beans.
Right.
That's going to happen. The kids were going to do that. They can be as good as they want, but you have to do that. So knowing what your job is and knowing what the expectations are can really help you in that way.
That's why we go to Fernando's. That and the fact that we heard
Fernando. We love
that
Fernando's.
President Bush goes there.
Oh, really?
Because he's in our neighborhood.
In our hood.
Neighbors by proxy.
Is he right?
Well, I mean, not really.
Okay.
It's a very large area of Dallas.
The threat of eviction does not quite fit the bill. Fernando's, I got to find out more about that place. We'll
Fernando's
talk about it after
is
the break.
amazing, and they don't mind kids.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, Fernando's.
We'll be back in the third segment of Second Shot, and we'll do our question of the week.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Heath and Jenny still to come.
Okay, we wanted to take a quick minute to tell you guys about a company called Energy Ogre. So Heath and I have been using this company for years to save money on our electricity. We've told you guys about it for months and months and months too. So basically what they do is they shop around your electricity and then they find the lowest option and then they manage it. So you know how if you notice your rates are going up, you might call around. But who really does that? So they do that for you. The deal is that it costs $10 a month, and if they can't save you anything, then you get the $10 back. So for us, what we noticed is it cut our bill at least in half. So we're talking, we were upwards of $200, maybe a little more than $200 a month. Now we're down to $100. Yes, even in the blazing summers here in the Dallas area of Texas. So it's energyogre.com. So here's Ogre. It's OGRE. So ENERGYOGRE.com. And they actually give us a deal for Second Shot listeners. So if you would like to use it, the discount code is Second Shot. So you can try it for free and see how it works. Again, it's really not a risk because if you get on there and they can't save you any money, then they don't charge you anything and you'll get to try it out for free with the code Second Shot.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
Wow.
What was that?
That was me reading one of the reviews that were wow, because people are leaving reviews.
Yes.
And my shaming is working. And if you're listening right now and I'm shaming and you haven't left a review, then I'm shaming you.
This is the only place where shaming works.
It doesn't make any sense.
And the only time I'm okay with shaming
is with reviews.
Here on this very show.
It's not actual shaming.
Like leave a review. It's not that hard.
With reviews or with Arby's. Those are the two places that ought to be shamed.
Yeah, exactly. Arby's should be. I didn't realize Arby's was still in business.
Nobody's ever in the parking lots. How are they still open?
Shout out to Arby's.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I guess they'll never be a sponsor.
I can't say I don't think I've ever eaten at an Arby's.
I've eaten at an Arby's once.
Not that this will be any shock to anybody.
That is shocking.
Oh, okay. I'll read one of these reviews. This comes from Lori GK. It's long, but I'll summarize. It says, the content on this podcast is so interesting. Thank you, Lori. Jenny and Heath cover a wide range of topics from work inspiration goals to personal growth subjects. I always learn something new, and their expert guests offer impressive insights as well. Oh, they must be talking about sit-downs. Listening to Second Shot podcast makes my workouts go by in a flash. I highly recommend subscribing to this dynamic duo. Thanks, Lori.
Oh, thanks, Lori.
Very cool.
The next one we got, give the people more, A. Robbins 08. What can I say? Second Shot is pure gold. The chemistry between the hosts is unstoppable, and I always learn so much and laugh so hard with each episode. It is a must subscribe. 5 stars, hands down.
What's up now? And some
Wow.
people will be hearing the original Second Shot for the first time if they only subscribed via a sit down. For example, if you listen
So
to
like
a
if
second,
you're watching right now.
What's that?
If they're watching right now, then you go subscribe.
Yes, if you're watching on
Right.
Facebook, we don't put every episode on Facebook. In fact, a lot of them are not on Facebook. So if you're watching right now, this is just sort of like a little teaser. You want to go to iTunes or go to Spotify or iHeartRadio or SoundCloud or any of these free apps, and then search Second Shot Podcast, and you'll see our little mugs on there.
Yeah.
And you'll know it's ours, and
Our
you hit
little
subscribe.
mugs. Are you like a
right.
little burp?
Little mug.
That's what Brighton says.
Oh, she would be like,
I had a little burp.
I had a little burp, Daddy.
Aw.
When she burps, like I had a little burp.
And then she
Wow.
says, "Moose me,
Yeah, excuse me.
moose me."
Little burp, so you're like busting out with it over here. You're like a little, what
You
you
see
say?
our
mug.
little mugs.
Little
You
mugs.
see our little mugs.
Like our
we
little
will not
mugs.
have little burps.
Yeah, no,
That
little
would
burp.
not be good
I've
content.
been really happy with the response to the sit downs episodes. I think they've all been very different from each other, and they've all been really interesting.
Yes, and
Really
we
happy with
have
them.
the one coming out. Well, so we have. If you guys haven't heard the Kelly Raspberry
That was
one,
this past Tuesday.
that just came out on Tuesday. I think people
Yeah.
are having a hard time catching up. You got to listen to 2 a week now. Which
We're
is,
pumping out a lot of content.
We're pumping
That's
out a
right.
lot. So Kelly Raspberry from the nationally syndicated Kid Craddock Morning Show. Also, I'll give a quick mention to the sit down 2 episodes back. I think it's titled "She Escaped a Polygamous Cult."
Yeah.
The interview is with Anna LeBaron. So Anna LeBaron is the daughter of Ervil LeBaron, who died in jail because of his connection to all these different murders in the United States and in Mexico. Anyway, she wrote the book The Polygamous Daughter, and then many of you heard about the killings that happened in Mexico. By now it would have been like a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, the episode came out on the same day as those killings. That was not intentional. It was a pre-recorded episode. But her description of this family, of the LeBaron family, gives some insight into that. So some of the people who were killed are her distant relatives, and were LeBarons from the LeBaron family, from the same, from that same bloodline. Yeah. So that one's been getting a lot of attention. I think just because people are so fascinated and disturbed by the fact that this kind of thing could have been going on in North Texas not that long ago.
Yeah, that was insane how that happened at the same time to go out. I mean, shoot us an email, secondshotcast@gmail.com. Let us know if y'all want to, we're only set out to do one season of the Second Shot sit-downs, which is 8 episodes and a one-season little deal of it. So I'd like to know, secondshotcast@gmail.com or the Second Shot Facebook group. Let us know, but just let us know what you think about them. If you want those to continue, if you think it's too much, or if you'd rather have those instead of this. What do you want? Just let us know. So we're trying to do whatever we can to help you guys out and drive the best content to you. So feedback is muchos appreciated.
And all of a sudden he's Spanglish.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
Brighton's in a Spanish
right.
immersion school, so now he throws out some muchos appreciated.
Muchos appreciated.
Yes, it would.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Is this a song?
Paraquito
Do we
Azul.
know?
You guys, this is really, people are just loving our singing. Our question of the week got started because of, is it time to do question of the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we there yet?
So,
Yeah.
are we
All
there
right,
yet?
let's do it.
The question of the week got started because of all the talk about Arby's. So then during the break, we're talking about all our different fast food favorites or unfavorites, as apparently Arby's is for Heath. So we're kind of going off the motivational and inspirational track to find out from you, to kind of get to know your preferences. What's your favorite cheap meal?
And
Favorite?
that thing that's like that indulgence. That it's like, you obviously, we all know it's not that good for you. It's not all that.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite, cheapest little throw
So
up?
should I say cheap? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Should I say, how should I word it? What's your favorite?
You're right, because if you say cheap, it's implying that you're getting it like a bargain, right?
Right.
And often fast
Maybe
food is
I
not a
should
bargain.
do this.
Inexpensive. I mean,
Well,
What's
fast
your
food is
favorite
a bargain.
fast food meal?
Yeah.
I just hate even posting that because I'm not pro fast food.
It's true. You're very anti-fast food.
What's
We've
your-
really cornered
I
you on
think
this
what's
one.
your favorite, little, cheap,
What's your
Yeah.
favorite?
cheat meal?
cheap, I don't know.
A
Okay.
meal
Being
you're
too
cheating on your
politically-
diet with?
I got my little things on the little fast food stuff.
Okay, I'll
That's
do
funny
cheat meal.
is regular French fries at the house, ketchup all day.
Okay.
I put ketchup on them, right?
All day.
Yeah.
But like with McDonald's, for instance, like I can only eat their fries with their barbecue sauce because I love it with their barbecue sauce so much.
Really?
It's like
Their fries are pretty good.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing. And then I love the Burger King onion rings with the zesty onion ring sauce.
All right, so fries and onion rings, solid entry.
I
Matt,
can
you got
take
anything?
the onion ring zesty sauce at Burger King and put it on everything.
I haven't tried
Right.
it. I don't go there.
Stuff could go on anything.
If I was to say fast food, I would say there's a little place in Dallas called Keller's. It's a little burger joint, and their number one special is really good. It's got Thousand Island dressing on it. It's a delicious burger. They've got good onion rings. If I were to expand this beyond fast food, my favorite cheap meal is probably the tortilla soup from El Phoenix.
Interesting.
You can get a small.
Matt throwing a curveball out
I know.
there.
I love it.
Totally.
You can get a small tortilla soup for like $4, and then you just have the chips and salsa, and you're good to go. Like I would eat that several times a week. I love it. It's really good tortilla soup, and shout out to El Phoenix.
Shout out to El Phoenix.
Yeah.
El Phoenix. Fernando's El Phoenix?
We've got the corner
Wide
corner here
and
at Mexican
vast
restaurants.
scope of restaurants
El
here.
Phoenix is good too.
My favorite.
I'm
This is
dying
tough.
to know this.
My favorite. I kind of got an easy answer here because my favorite meal in general is Campbell's tomato soup and grilled cheese. That's my.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is my. If I was on death row and had one thing left, that is what I would have.
The
Yeah.
grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Grilled cheese
That's
and tomato
amazing.
soup.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's my thing. But if I had to find something kind of local that anybody could do themselves, if you can't do Campbell's tomato soup, there's a couple of taco joints in Dallas called La Ventana.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my
so
gosh.
good.
They make
Yeah.
street tacos and they're like $1.75 a piece and they're amazing and they're so good. And you get sauce, you put it on there.
Yes.
Yeah, La Ventana is so legit.
Their Lotes is all right too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Elotes is really
Oh,
good.
when I lived in Uptown, I used to go there all the time.
Really?
It was a
I need
mile
to go try
walk
this out.
from my place. So I would sort of be like, I'm going to get in my, a little bit of workout for the day.
Sure.
Walk to La Ventana, get a couple tacos, walk home.
Well, I'm like really hungry now.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that sounds so good.
You should go hit Ventana after this.
So now we need a Mexican food sponsorship,
Clearly, like we're all.
right?
Can you imagine if we... Oh, man. What a mess.
Yeah.
Be great.
What's your cheap food?
I'm gonna go really off the rails with this because if we're,
Weird.
if we're-
why not, right?
No. I mean, off the rails. Like I'm not gonna say, a smoothie at the juice bar.
Lean into
Because
it.
that's not cheap.
Yeah.
Juice
You're
bar's
right,
not
that's
cheap.
not
But-
cheap.
It's probably more
But I
expensive
think
than
I'm
anything
changing
else
it to
we've
be
said.
cheat meal.
Come to the dark side.
Even though I don't
Okay,
really
cheat
like
meal.
the idea of cheat on food because it makes me, I just don't like the whole thought
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, I'm gonna say anywhere. Well, I'll give a couple because I can't ever follow the rules.
Right.
Anywhere, cheese fries for sure, or nachos, like Taco Bell nachos. Do you remember?
Oh,
do
yeah.
you remember the best meal we had our entire trip to the Bahamas?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, were we in the Bahamas?
Was it the Bahamas?
I don't even know. We were in a tropical destination for our friend's wedding.
Yeah.
I think we were in. Yeah, we were. It was definitely the Bahamas.
Yes, it was the Bahamas.
So we were there for our friend's wedding.
No, it wasn't the Bahamas. It was Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic.
The food, though. Man.
So
No,
we're
no,
in
no.
the-
Wherever
In
it
the
was.
airport.
No, in the airport. So we're in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
The food was the venue was amazing. I don't think that these friends listen to the podcast, but if they do, it was a beautiful wedding. The food, however, was okay.
Yeah.
So we get to the airport and we are starving, and I'm not kidding you. We had the best Taco Bell nachos I have
you go.
ever had in
What?
my entire
They were so good.
life. There was something about the Dominican Republic Taco Bell nachos.
Okay.
We devoured them. We were
Yes.
there with our friends Brandon and Story.
Oh, yeah, we tore
I
it
hope
up.
Brandon and Story listened to the podcast
Oh,
because
man.
they'll remember this was like the best. It wasn't the best part
I've
of the
never
trip,
seen
but
my wife get excited. And like I never thought in a million years Taco Bell nachos
Taco
would ever
Bell
join
nachos.
her mouth, but she was like tearing. She
you
like
know, I
was
used
in
to
love.
work at Taco Bell.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I just
Oh, yeah.
don't put you with somebody that's stopping by Taco Bell and grabbing the nachos.
That's my go-to if you ever want to just like, make me happy.
What's your cheat meal then? Like, get in this conversation with us. What's your cheat meal? Give us that little, knockoff, kind of that whatever that cheat meal may be for you.
Knock
Yeah.
off.
secondshotcast@gmail.com. Send us an email with any feedback that you got. Second Shot Facebook group. Join in on the conversation. Where can they find you?
JennyAndChando.com. Also, follow at Second Shot Podcast on Instagram. If you like us, we won't see it, but we will feel the love if you comment.
At Apple Zackintosh on Twitter and Instagram. Like us on iTunes or Android if you're on a Google phone. All right. Facebook is only part of the show. We're doing a lot more. Come check it out.
Matt Stoker 1 on Instagram, and also in the Second Shot Facebook group. We'll be sharing the videos and other cool stuff that happens here on the show.
At Heath Oaks at Ignorance on Fire on all social media platforms. Follow me, holler at me, and
Follow me.
See, my redneck just come out and I couldn't stop it at all. You know what I mean? That's how I roll. See you next time. Love you guys.